We hadn't closed on our funding when COVID all happened. Our investors were kind of like, we have to figure out what's going on before we move forward. There's like helicopters descending on New York City. There's like police sirens. The numbers kept going up and up. And Sofia and I were kind of freaking out, like, is this going to happen? And if so, when? I was kind of paying for everything myself, thinking that like, I'll pay myself back once we get funded. We really put a lot of ourselves into it, and we weren't sure whether or not it was going to pan out. It was so intense. And I think I ended up leaving the city like a few days later.
As days went by, everything kept getting worse and worse. Like, how am I going to raise these children? And what am I going to do? I was crying and crying. I was like, something's going to happen. We're not going to get it. It's not going to happen. It was like the world is ending and we're starting. That's what it felt like. And I remember I kept pushing and I kept emailing our investor and Phuong. I was like, this is the time to do it. When everything is dying, we got to fucking do this. That's how you make a difference.
Being a mom is scary. Being a human is scary. Being a human in New York during a pandemic, launching a company is scary. But, I got to show up for life.
So it's 7 a.m. I'm on the train from Southampton to New York.
We finally got like the full okay to start working on it in May. I picked up my family and moved 2 hours away. I come into the city 2 days a week, then I'm away from my children. But it's still not enough time for Sofia and I to be together. But, we've all had to land in the situations that are less than ideal. You're kind of just doing the best you can.
Do you want apple, Nico?
I want grapes
Yeah.
and apple.
Okay.
My nerves are at a place right now where I'm already pretty out there, and now I'm far gone. It's like, whoa. I work here in the office. I come in every morning. I'm constantly in my head alone. I'm surrounded by boards it's like a cubicle of boards and like Post-its and I feel like a detective. So yeah, I'm okay. I eat a lot of candy.
We had to do fittings on Zoom, which is kind of crazy to do. I was like, how is this ever going to work? I've only ever worked in product development in an office.
So now these are the ones that we got for the tracksuit.
We're just like ordering stuff to our houses, feeling it and then sending it around and then sending it to the production team.
Usually you design something and then you send the pattern and it's done. I didn't have the luxury of that.
That is a lot of options. I don't know what to do with them. I'm a little confused.
It's all about the detail, and those details can get lost in translation. That causes a huge problem.
This armhole is just wrong, and it's pulling everything down.
The fact that you get to see your garment get worse instead of better every time you fit it, and the reason behind it is simply because you couldn't have the fittings in person, is like a bummer.
It's just like feels really heavy and it's adding like a weird texture to the overall garment.
I screamed and I said, we are no longer doing remote styling sessions. We're doing them in the office, and that's the end of it.
Nothing really beats feeling it, seeing it on someone's body, seeing it on like 3 people's different body types. I don't think that there's a replacement for that.
Look how tiny her sleeve looks here. It's not working for her.
Okay, so what do we do?
So we drop it.
Cry? Oh, okay.
Don't you think?
Joni, who's our tech designer, just like literally took the sample that had come from Egypt, took it to the sewing machine, made a couple edits, put it back on the model, and finally, after months and months of trying to get it right, it was right.
That's such a good sleeve.
I'm really excited about this.
We want to make women feel empowered. I think this gives you that.
We've taken so much time on these fittings. Even though it was exhausting, it was worth it because now it just sits right.
They fit well regardless of your body type.
Yes.
The story that you get from looking at those pieces, it's like chic, clean, modern, but still very secure in our boldness.
Sofia's all gut, and I'm like mostly data and some gut. I think it's good to have that tension, right? Like that basically embodies Sofia and my relationship. We got in a huge, huge fight. It wasn't a fight, whatever it was, I was crying.
Phuong and I were going back and forth on this campaign video concept. I had this idea of like, life is messy, you don't have to be, right? She was kind of going back and forth and like asking me what photographer I'm gonna use and what director I'm gonna use. I felt like I was being watched.
I didn't know what I want, so I kept saying no to stuff. And there was a big explosion.
It was like 10 minutes, fuck you, you know, and like crying.
Like literally, fuck
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
and then hang up.
Like, I was like, I know what I'm doing. Let me work the way that I know how to work and put things together.
Those are all mommy's clothes. What? Do you like it? Yeah.
Now we kind of work back and forth until like we both come to an agreement. And we've learned how to do that really well.
We have. It's crazy. We have.
Who's ready to embarrass themselves? Phuong, it's time to dance.
I've gotten to bigger fights with her than anyone in my life. But then, you know, it's just like family where we're totally fine again.
She's like the better half, you know, of me, of this. Love you, Phuong.
Come on, Phuong.
Life's messy. Stay comfy. We need to do the content population on our website, right?
So you need me to pick a picture for the homepage.
We just saw the latest rounds for the homepage and the PLP and the PDP. So it's really starting to be something.
The website is like the oasis time. It's like, yay, this is so smooth. Like if only everything else was.
We got a call from my son's school on President's Day weekend. He had tested positive for COVID. The next day, my daughter gets tested again, and she actually turned out to be positive too. They have to wear masks. They're asking us why we can't pick them up, why they can't give us hugs. I'm sanitizing everything like every hour. Meanwhile, trying to get, you know, this business off the ground. That was really hard to navigate because I was scared, you know? The feeling I got was almost like when I took them home from the hospital. Your only job is to keep this thing alive. That's the mode I got into. I told Sofia and I was like, can you fucking believe this? That all of this is happening together. She was so supportive, like, we're gonna get through this. Do you need wine? You just kind of have to have that trust and support in your partner for you to be able to do something like this. We got our last test result back and we're negative, and so hopefully life will return to normal-ish.
Who would think we would get excited over face masks?
I'd love to be able to have a soft launch, and that just goes out to our email list. If there's a kink, then I hope that it'll happen when my mom orders something.
Yes, totally.
Our launch definitely has been put on fast forward over the past 6 months. People now only like wear super comfortable clothes and they don't dress up anymore once things go back to normal, whatever that is. But I do think there are going to be like long-lasting changes in what people prioritize.
We're taking what we learned from this pandemic of how we value our own comfort and putting it now out there in the world. So now we need to finish with our styling. We need to receive all the pieces.
Create, you know, our email streams, work with our 3PL.
Okay, stop, I'm gonna throw up, I can't.
We are launching. Dun, 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 dun.
I'm super excited and super stressed. There's like so much to do. Like, how are we gonna do it? You know, like it's